Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Anveshan Academy. This is Dr. Manjunath Chennapgood. Dear students, in the previous class we discussed about what is heat energy and what is the sign convention for heat energy. In detail we have discussed with some examples. We'll move towards next topic, that is temperature, heat energy and heat transfer. Okay, dear students, we will try to understand what is heat transfer here. Okay, so now I will try to compare all temperature, heat energy and heat transfer. In this example, you can see here now. What is temperature, dear students? Measuring body, whether it is cold or hot, is nothing but what? Temperature. So temperature is nothing but what? Measure or indication of body is hot or cold is temperature. So that is temperature. Then what is heat energy? Heat energy is a form of energy. It is going to transfer from one part of the system to the other part of the system or from system to the surrounding due to change in temperature. That is known to be heat energy. And when it is moving from system to the surrounding or surrounding to the system, it is having some sign convention. That sign conventions are positive and negative. That also we have discussed. Then that we can see here now, dear students, what is temperature? Measuring body is hot or cold is temperature. So that is, you can see here now, with help of thermometer I can check whether it is hot or cold. That is nothing but what? Temperature. Dear students, we know generally the temperature of a body, you can take a human as an example. Generally the temperature of human body is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that means what? It is hot. That means what? It is hot or cold. We are measuring temperature. Suppose ambient temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. Then what happens, dear students? You can see here now. Here the body temperature of man is 37 degrees Celsius, whereas surrounding temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. There is a change in temperature. That means what? 37 minus 27 degrees Celsius. There is a difference in the temperatures. Because of this difference in temperature, what happens? A kind of energy is going to transfer from human body to the surrounding. Because human body temperature is, I will write it here, dear students. Here it is 37 degrees Celsius. The ambient temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. There is a change in temperature. Because of this change in temperature, a kind of energy or a form of energy is going to transfer from human body to the surrounding. That energy we will call it as a heat energy, dear students. That energy we can call it as a heat energy. Whether this body is hot or cold is temperature. When a form of energy which is going to transfer from high temperature region to low temperature region, that type of energy we are going to call it as a heat energy, dear students. Okay, fine. Then what is heat transfer? That you can see here, dear students, now. So 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so now because of this change in temperature, a kind of energy is going to transfer, that is heat energy. Fine. Then how much amount of heat energy is going to transfer from body to the surrounding? That's how much amount. That means what? That energy is transferring because of change in temperature. That's fine. That is nothing but what? Heat energy. Then rate of heat energy transfer. That is nothing but what? Amount of heat transfer for unit time is nothing but what? Heat transfer. So heat transfer is nothing but what? It's a branch of science which deals with the amount of heat energy transferred from system to the surrounding or from body to the surrounding is nothing but heat transfer. Then that heat transfer is represented by notation Q. What is heat transfer? Heat transfer is nothing but what? Rate of heat energy transferred from system to the surrounding is heat transfer. That is represented by Q, dear students. So what is Q now? Rate of heat energy transferred for unit time. That is known to be heat energy. This is a human body example I have taken and I have explained. You can take one more example, dear students. What is that? Coffee. You can take hot coffee. You can call it as a system. According to thermodynamics, what I can say? This is in a system. So this is a system. Hot coffee is a system. The hot coffee's temperature is 70 degrees Celsius. Here is a 20 degrees Celsius. Because of change in temperature, a kind of energy, that is energy E, is getting transferred from system to the surrounding. that is energy. Whether it is hot or cold is temperature. Fine. Then how much amount of heat energy is transferring for unit time is nothing but what? Heat transfer, dear students. That is how that you can see here now. So measuring hot or cold is temperature. Fine. Next, because of change in temperature, a kind of energy is going to transfer, that is what? Heat energy. Then how much amount of heat energy is getting transferred, that is known to be how much amount of heat energy per unit time it is getting transferred, that is known to be heat transfer. So therefore what I can say, heat transfer is nothing but what? Rate of amount of heat energy transferred per unit time is nothing but what? Heat transfer. The unit for heat transfer is nothing but what? Energy, we are using joule unit, then temperature, time is unit for unit time, that is in the second. So energy unit for heat energy, heat transfer is joules per second. We know, dear students, already 1 joules per second is equal to 1 watt. So therefore what I can say, the unit for heat transfer is watt. Watt is nothing but what? Joules per second. This is nothing but what? Heat transfer, dear students. So then I told you, dear students, the heat is getting transferred from high temperature region to low temperature region with certain time, with respect to certain time. Okay, that is heat transfer. Then how that heat is going to transfer? Yes, dear students, that heat is going to transfer in 3 ways, or we can say 3 modes. So by seeing this figure, we can say that heat is transferring from copy to surrounding. Fine. Then how that heat is transferring? That is going to transfer in 3 ways, dear students. So 1 minute. Yes, that heat is going to transfer in 3 ways, dear students. What are those? First one, conduction mode. The heat is going to transfer from system to the surrounding. This application we can take system to the surrounding in 3 ways. That too per unit time, right? 3 ways. What is that? Conduction, convection, next radiation. So radiation. So heat is going to transfer in in 3 ways: conduction, convection, radiation. So that is nothing but what? These are nothing but what? Modes of heat transfer that we can see here, dear students. Now live example. You can take in a cook pot. You are cooking something else. Assume that water you have taken into the container. Water you are taken into the pot. Actually, when we are going to add heat, right, heat is going to transfer from stove to the pot, conduction. So that stove to the pot is conduction, one thing. Or else when we are going to put a spoon, right, metal spoon, the heat is, whenever it's got heated, right, water, then what happens? That metal pot, we can handle, you can say. So or you can, the spoon, you can say, that spoon gets heated. That means what? Heat is going to transfer from this point to this point. That is nothing but it. If the heat is getting transferred in solid materials where the atoms or molecules are at under rest, but they may vibrate, they will transfer heat. That type of heat transfer you can call as a conduction heat transfer. Then that conduction, that means what, dear students? The heat is going to transfer from this point to this point through a solid material, that is known to be conduction. Then how much amount of heat is getting transferred? That I can calculate with the help of an equation. That equation is Q is equal to minus K into dt by dx. This equation is given by a well-known scientist, that is Fourier's. That law we can call it as a Fourier's law of conduction. One thing. Now one more. In other form also heat is going to transfer, that is convection. So what is convection, conduction, radiation, in detail I will explain upcoming class, but just I am telling here now how the heat is going to transfer. So heat is going to transfer from this point to this point through molecular motion in a fluid. That type of heat transfer you can call it as a convection heat transfer. That convection heat transfer can be calculated with the help of an equation, that is Q is equal to HA into delta T. This is equation which is given by a well-known scientist, again Newton. That law we can call it as a Newton's law of cooling. Then radiation, some amount of heat transfer is going to transfer from system to the surrounding in the form of electromagnetic wave, but there is no any kind of media. If the heat transfer takes place in that fashion, that we can call it as a radiation heat transfer. The rate of radiation heat transfer can be calculated with help of an equation, that is Q is equal to sigma epsilon A T to the power of 4. Again, this equation is given by one scientist, that is Stephan. Okay, Stephan Boltzmann. Okay, in these three ways the heat is going to transfer, dear students. Okay, so now you can take in your home example, cooking food in on a stove. That means what? When we are cooking, right, we are going to supply heat to the bottom of the pot. That is nothing but conduction. The mode of heat transferred from stove to the metal pot is first one, conduction. Then warming hand. Assume that, dear students, there is a heat is coming in this fashion. You can take a fire camp. When you are going to hold hand, right, the heat is going to transfer from fire to your hand. That is, there is no any media. That type of heat transfer can called as a radiation. Once the water is started to boil, right, then the whatever the hot water particles are there, they are low density, they are less dense, they have less density. Hence what they will do, they will go up and they are going to interact with the cold water molecules. Hence what will happen, the heat is going to transfer to the cold water molecules. If the heat is transferred because of molecular motion, that type of heat transfer can call as a convection. The ice melting, when it is ice melting, right, then it is ice melting, that is nothing but what? Heat is going to transfer, right, that is conduction heat transfer. In radiator, dear students, in the radiator, assume that in the radiator, here is the, okay, hot gases is moving, hot water you can say. Then if the heat is going to transfer from hot water to the surrounding through a metal, right, that is nothing but what? Conduction heat transfer. Then sunburn. So when the heat is going to transfer to your body, right, because of sun, that is nothing but what? Sunburn. That is nothing but what? Radiation heat transfer. Heat is going to transfer from sun to your body in the form of electromagnetic wave. There is no any media. That type of heat transfer you can call as a radiation heat transfer, dear students. I hope you understood what is temperature, what is heat energy, and what is heat transfer. Dear students, now just until today we learned only about basics of heat transfer. What is temperature, what is heat energy, and what actually heat transfer, how that heat is going to transfer. Just basics we understood till now. Next class onwards I will start with heat transfer. The subject is heat transfer. What is heat transfer? How heat is going to transfer? If it is a conduction, what is conduction? If it is a convection, what is convection? What is radiation? In detail we are going to discuss in upcoming classes. Dear students, if you want updated videos like this, so please do subscribe my channel and do support me. Your comments and likes are very important for me. I hope you will subscribe. Thank you.